Hi, this is Gmac for the Razor Company and welcome to another shave. Today's shave will be focused on a flathead razor. Stick with me. Flathead razors, they always seem to be unique in design, and there's always that question about the cutting angle, the blade gap, and of course the blade exposure. One of my favorite razors of all time is the Razorini Flat Boy, and that is because it has that very flat kind of a head that sandwiches the blade. It's a fairly aggressive razor, but this is not the razor I'm going to be using today. The razor in focus is going to be the Focus Tritok Concave. Now this is probably the flattest head you can see on a razor. It's even thinner than the Goodfellas Smile Synthesi or the Stiletto. I think it really is a very, very flat head, and it's unique. Now let's talk a little bit about Focus razors. So Focus, the company itself is called Focus 1915, and that's the year it dates back to, or whether the roots of the company date back to 1915. Over the years, they've produced razor handles, straight razors, DE razors, and their current lineup is really fantastic. If you go to the Razor Company website, you'll be able to see the Focus R51, which is the normal thin flat head razor head. Then you have the Concave, which of course, as you can look at that design, you'll be able to tell it's slightly different. Now the concave razor head, of course, is the R52, and that's the one that I'm going to be using today. And then there is the 53, which is the slant. You also get the stainless steel versions in R61, R62, and then, if I'm not mistaken, R63, which is the slant stainless steel razor. I never used these before, and this is the first time that I'm going to be taking it out for a spin. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the weight of this razor. And of course, the razor is totally made in Italy. The company is Italian. The head, just the head alone, weighs 10 grams. That's light, isn't it? And the original handle of the Focus, which you can get the full original razor at the Razor Company, the original handle is about 30 grams and about 90 millimeters in length. So that's the razor head. Just to give you a look at it, I'm going to open it up as well. So you have concave there with the blade showing on it. That's only the base plate, and that is what the top cap looks like, as you can see. It's a very simple top cap. Very, very thin. Absolutely thin. Wafer thin, if you ask me. I do like the way it looks. So, Focus razors, of course, I wanted to use the original handle, but I always like to franken my razors and swap things around. So I decided to go with an aluminum handle that I have lying around. I really like this handle. This handle weighs 23 grams, so it brings down the original weight of the Focus R52 Concave razor from 40 grams to 33 grams. Just to have a bit of fun. And the blade I'm going to be going with, of course, for today is the Gillette 7 o'clock Super Platinum. These are made in India. They're the most expensive blades made in India, and they're known as the Black Ninjas. According to me, one of the best blades I've ever used. They are superb in quality. I can pull a blade. Normally my blades go for about 2 or 3 shaves. I can get about 4 or 5 shaves out of this. So I'm just going to load the blade in there, clamp it down, and then of course, as always, just get the handle on top. And that's locked firmly into place. You can see the blade reveal, that nice silver line there on both sides. There's absolutely no blade overhang, and that's beautiful. The base plate, of course, is slightly curved, as you can see. Concave, if you ask me. And that's my Franken razor, but the head, of course, is the Focus Tritok Concave. Rest of the shaving gear for today, Really excited about this. So I'm going to be going with, I've already got a bit of a lather, going on there. I'm going to be going with my Hendrix Classics and Company bowl. I use this most often. Do love it. It's stainless steel. The Phoenix Astraeus brush. Really like this brush. Love that, clay acrylic and then that black on top. It's got a nice design at the bottom as well. So, spoken about that brush before, so I'm not going to waste time on that. For the shaving soap today, been very emotional about Southern Witchcrafts, Southern Witchcrafts shutting down, and really grateful for, what Stephen and Courtney have given us over the years. So I thought, why not go with one of my favorite ever bases? And this one is Unscented. I'm going to go with Southern Witchcrafts Incorporeal. It's a 4-ounce pour. As you can see, always it's got a soft, very soft consistency, a real crope, no fragrance at all. It smells like soap. It doesn't smell like a floral, cologne, spicy soap, just like plain soap. And it's got all the usual ingredients in there: stearic acid, jojoba oil, shea butter, coconut oil, glycerin, aloe powder, liquid aloe, kaolin clay. So all the skin benefiting products, as well as that base, one of the greatest vegan bases ever made. So the aftershave for today, also like the blade and the razor, is available at the razor company Lucido of Japan. I really love this aftershave. Doesn't have a great fragrance to it. It's got a bit of a mint-like fragrance, but it works beautifully. It's so soothing on the face, and mine is heavily mentholated, which is why you can see it's milky. It's normally a transparent liquid. I've got a ton of menthol crystals in here. The crystals used are from Officina Artigiana, and they are available, Officina Artigiana. I hope I got that right, but they are available at the razor company. So let's get straight down to the shave itself, and just gonna run that brush in the bowl for a little bit. I've always said this, there are some great vegan bases that you can buy. Zingari Man, the razor company still has one of, the traditionalist left. Fantastic base, fantastic vegan base. But Southern Witchcrafts really made some of the finest soaps that I've ever used. Gonna go straight with that first application of the lather. Now, I got to remind you about one very, very clear aspect when it comes to vegan bases. Vegan bases will lather up really nicely, but you've got to be a bit careful with them because they can break down if you water them too much. So I would suggest, avoid doing that. A lot of us do get, you want to create volume with your lather, so you want to add in the water like a few drops at a time. You don't want to liquidize the soap as such. Sometimes it feels strange to shave with a soap with no fragrance, but hey, you get so many fragrance oils from different manufacturers, including, Denton Magic, or for that matter, Hendrix Classics and Company. And you could actually use those fragrance oils to, in a soap that is neutral or that's unscented. Oh, this base is just so good. It's so comforting on the skin. Always love the way it works. Yeah, I'm going to miss these guys. I'm really going to miss them. And if you're a Southern Witchcrafts fan like me, I'm sure you will as well. Oh, that sheen to that lather. And that's a well-hydrated lather if you look at it. Sometimes you have soaps that have, a bit too much of butters in them. And I'm not saying they aren't great. They are, but they can be, fairly, oily once you've, put them on your face. And then there are some soaps that just work beautifully. They make your face feel like you put on something that is very moisturizing or very, very moisture rich. And then when you wash it off, you really get a nice, clean, dry feeling. Not dry, but a very clean kind of finish. So let's go with the first pass. I'm really excited about this razor since I've never used it before, and we'll be keen on seeing how it performs. So that's very, very light, just 33 grams. You think about it. So first pass. A lot of audio feedback, as you would expect from any aluminum razor. I thought the lather clearance was going to be a bit of a problem because even if you look at it, because the head is so thin, and if you look at you can see those lather channels through that, but not an issue. It just came off really easy. I'm not using any tap, no running water, just a bowl of water, rinsing my razor and that. I do like the way this shaves. Very, very smooth. I don't really know what the gap is, but I remember I had read in a discussion among shavers that the shaving angle is about approximately 3 degrees. I could be wrong about that, but I love the way it's designed, the way that the blade is quite a step away from the bar, and yet it the angle is fairly steep. You don't have to really, it's quite a natural angle actually. And this blade works beautifully. I had 4 days of growth. It works really beautifully. I'd heard this razor was too mild. I don't think it's mild. I think it's super smooth. And there are a couple of aluminum razors nowadays that, and there are aluminum razors I really love. The Colonial CR7, the Henson razors. But the Henson, very much like the Yates Winning, or even the America to a certain extent, has an intuitive head design, which kind of dictates the angle of shave. And that's, well, I like it some days, but some days I just like enough. Well, this razor also does have that slight bend in the top cap, but I realized as you're going along with it, you can change the angle a little bit. It might change the way it cuts though. I've had no issues with the way this razor works. No need to add any pressure at all with this one. You can definitely tell when it's cutting, and that'll really help you, because the moment the blade, well, catches onto the stubble and you can feel, that you can hear the feedback. Now let's go with smooth skin. There's nothing at all, right? Now let's go with stubble. And that's what happens when you, well, that's what happens. That's how you can tell that, it's actually cutting and it's not just taking off lather. I'm going to say this is it's a very high quality razor, great for somebody with sensitive skin, beautiful design. Now let me remind you that the Gillette Black Ninjas or the 7 o'clock Super Platinum are sharp blades. They're almost feather sharp in a way, but you know, on the second and third shave, they tend to be a lot smoother. The feather dulls out after a second use for me, and on the third it becomes a bit tuggy. This one can go to about 4 or 5 shaves. With a razor head this thin, it's a breeze to get under the nose. This is a very smooth shaver, a very smooth, forgiving shaver. Let's test the efficiency after we get through that second pass. Now that was a breeze. That was practically autopilot for me. I had absolutely no worries going through that first pass. A beautiful razor. On to the second pass. And let's get that lather going again a little bit. Just activate it. There we go. So Southern Witchcrafts, Incorporeal. I hope I got that. Yes. Always wondering about whether I get the pronunciation right. There are a few of them that I really like. Fougere Nematha is my favorite. Banana. I don't know if you still have a stash, or are you a Southern Witchcrafts fan like me? If you are, what is your favorite SW soap? There are friends of mine who love the dark themes. They love Druansure, they love Desirology, Samhain, Pomona. But I would love to know what is your favorite, Southern Witchcraft soap. And I think we're good to go with our second pass. The Focus Tritok in action once again. It's strange how soap can get all over the place, isn't it? So here we go. This soap gives you great residual slickness, just aids the glide. It's just really fantastic. Absolutely love it every time I've used it. This is a great razor. I'm going to say this again. I haven't used the stainless steel one, but I would love to try it out. But I've heard that the aluminum is just more nimble. Well, that has to do with the metal, and it cuts apparently very similar, or shaves very similar. This is definitely an autopilot razor. So a bit of stubble here. I think if you have things like skin irritation or post shave, a razor like this could really help. Still getting used to. I mean, there are many times that I've used unscented soaps, but It's just throwing me off a bit because you're trying to sniff through the notes and there's nothing coming really. Very smooth, very forgiving. This razor just glides on the face. Absolutely stunned. I'm stunned by its performance. You know, so many times I think it's a very underrated razor. Not many talk about it, and I'm guilty of it as well. You know, we're all talking about, you know, some of the big boy razors, the new designs, the out of production razors, and then we forget that you have such a beautiful shaving tool. So easily accessible, available at the razor company. Well, it's available on the Focus 1915 site as well, but just easier to get it from the razor company, especially if you're like me in this. You know, I live in Asia, and it's always easier to get, well, stuff from TRC for me, and affordable on the shipping too. There were so many remarks that this, well, Focus, you know, R52 or even the R51 is supposed to be very mild. And I think we often confuse mild and smooth. We confuse mild, aggressive, mid efficiency, high efficiency. You know, when I went under the nose, you know those times a barber will actually, you know, pinch your lips together and then use a straight razor or a shavette to clean under the nose? It felt like that without that intimidating feel, but it just felt like it was cutting so clean and nice. And that's probably because how slim the head is. That was a stunning shave for me, and I'm going to say this again. You know, rarely have I taken a new aluminum razor out and said it knocks a few others out of the ballpark. Just going to do a very quick cleanup before we do a check on the shave result. Now remember, as I said, I had about 3.5 or 4 days of growth. I even buffed on my neck region a little bit. I went over a few spots which were dry. That soap, of course, Southern Witchcrafts, you know, does have a residual slickness, so it doesn't leave your skin dry. You can still go over it a bit, but it was so smooth with this razor. Just going to do a quick check. It's absolutely clean. And even the neck area. Now this doesn't happen to me often, you know, because I'm always struggling on the neck area. Then I'm left with skin irritation. I'm left with, you know, a bit of rawness. This was fantastic. I'm going to say this, you know, before I get to anything else. The Focus Tritok Concave R52. Don't write this razor off. This is a fantastic razor. It reminds me a little bit in performance of a razor like the Overlander, which has never given me skin irritation. It truly is the Goatlander, whether it's the aluminum, the brass, or the stainless steel. It's one of the greatest razors I've ever used in terms of sensitive skin and the ATG. This razor is very much like that. But it's got an advantage, that thin area. It is so nice to clean up, you know, under the nose. I absolutely loved it. Was just seeing if I had a bit of a shadow. It's not. It's the shape of my lip. What do I say to that? So I'm going to say, if you have sensitive skin, if you have a problem with other razors on your neck area, going XTG especially, this one works. It's fantastic. Absolutely clean the way it went about everything. 3.5 or 4 days of growth just knocked off so easily in 2 passes. Of course, I did change the direction of the way the razor was moving a couple of times, but fantastic razor. Real value for money. I would say get it with the original handle, or if you do have the money, get the stainless steel version. I've never used it, but the aluminum is great. It's just fantastic. So that's the Focus Tritok R52 Concave, available at the Razor Company. The blade used for today was the Gillette 7 o'clock Super Platinum, commonly known as the Gillette Black Ninjas. I really love this blade. For the brush, I went with the Finesse Artisan Accoutrements Astraeus. Remember, you can get Finesse Artisan soaps, aftershaves, and even brushes. They sell off most often, the brushes, but you will get them at the Razor Company. The bowl for today was the Hendrix Classics and Company Lather bowl, and one of my favorite unscented soaps, one of my favorite vegan bases in the world, Southern Witchcrafts, Incorporeal. Absolutely love this soap. Finally, down to the aftershave, and for the aftershave today, we are going to go with Lucido Aftershave Lotion by, I've never read this actually, by Mandom Corporation. So it's normally known as Mandom Lucido, if I'm not mistaken. But I picked this up, on a trip to Japan. Heavily mentholated, as I said, with those Officina Artigiana, menthol crystals. Gets into a nice milky kind of liquid, but it's not sticky. It's not lotion-like. It's almost clear actually, or very clean when you apply it. Now it's a very soothing lotion, but I do remember a few days back, or during my last shave, I had a massive amount of sting, and that was when I shaved with, I can't recollect. It was a razor that I used that I shaved with that was smooth and got really close, but I had a massive amount of sting. Today it's just that menthol, burn or hit. And this is what a great razor does. A razor that can get so close, give you a BBS, and when you put on any sort of lotion or heavy mentholated aftershave, and it doesn't really sting your skin or make it burn. It's only my eyes that are slightly watering. I like that. But yeah, just get this razor. Get the Focus Tritok. Stunning razor. Absolutely stunning. So that's it for the shave today. It's time for me to shut shop and ship out of here. But I'll be back real soon with another shave. But for now, on behalf of the Razor Company, it's me, Gmac, saying bye-bye and happy shaves as always.